Guys, I was talking to Lucas, who's a good pal of mine, and it was just on the topic of interview. Myself and Lucas were talking, and Lucas is actually interviewing for two roles, and we were doing some interview prep. And I thought, well, so he meets the skill set for both roles, and myself in the employer position, the last thing I want is him to kind of come down the line maybe 6 months and think, oh, actually maybe that other role would have been better, maybe I can change to that. And so really what I'm looking at is the underlying needs that each role might provide for him. And if I can communicate this to him effectively through, finding out what makes him tick as well, is can give him probably a peace of mind that actually, no, do you know what? I've chosen this role because it meets my need for X, Y, and Z. And, maybe this is just a difficult week, but I'm going to stick at it. Pick up the discussion where I'm aware Lucas has the skill set to match both roles, and really asking the classic kind of question, well, tell me a bit about yourself. And really with my knowledge of needs, it's by seeing if I can find out really what makes Lucas tick, that maybe I can get closer to what suits us both. Lucas, would you like to tell me a bit about yourself? What has you interested in these two roles?
We're talking about mastery. I think the whole concept of mastery might be the answer for a higher sense of inner fulfillment. So
if I was to pause there, and knowing from studying the needs that when I hear that word mastery, a bell rings and I know, oh, that's a big need. So that gives me something to work with. Right, so yeah. For you, Lucas, you have a need for mastery in kind of anything that you would, put your energies in. So what I'm now going to look for is, well, what does mastery look like in his life? So then I can see which role might suit him more. In this way, it's a win-win. If Lucas is happy in the role, then that means he's going to stay longer, more committed, his energy's there. Whereas if he's not, sure, then that's going to make my life more difficult as well. Would you have an example maybe of what mastery looks like?
Archetypes of mastery for me would be, again, like, a brilliant A-level tennis player, executing, flawless moves. That would be mastery.
So Lucas is giving me examples here, and in my mind I'm kind of half listening, but also half, I've got the two roles in my mind, and one is about 16 things to do during a day or a week, and the other one's one or two. So my mind is kind of matching them up. So when I think of, say, even tennis player, I think, okay, well, that's kind of one avenue. It's very focused.
Yes.
So we've two roles at the moment. One is very much your day would be spent doing many different things, whereas the other role would be for one or two things. Maybe the role that has one or two aspects that you could do during your day, this might be something that might meet your need for mastery, whereas the other role with, your day would be quite fragmented.
Sure.
So in this way, by knowing, the responsibilities each day, hopefully I'll be able to communicate to Lucas, give him a clearer idea, and again, he'll have a clearer idea in his mind as well. Might not necessarily meet your need. Is this something that makes sense a bit clearer, or how does that sound when I say the other role has many different activities throughout your day, and that's quite
as you're pointing out, I think the answer for success in mastery lies in focusing on one, two thing, fields, and by being able to put the effort and put the work on a constant basis, developing the proficiency, developing the higher level of execution.
Great, Lucas. So that's very helpful, because I can see your skill set. You would meet both roles, but to know that your heart or your energies would be more in the role that has one or two aspects, which some people might find quite unattractive. That's great to know that your need for mastery will be met there.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I think by the end of this exchange, we've put some doubts to bed that, Lucas is going to be more happy in role B, and I can see that from his confidence in how much he talks about mastery. Well, listen, I want to thank Lucas for taking part in this little interview prep, and make sure to head to Shanti Garban Gazina's channel, seedofpeace.org, for more training on nonviolent communication.